Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, what would happen if your mobile phone killed you?
We are tonight's entertainment.
I would rather watch Beautician and the Beast.
People don't forget.
And here we go.
Made for movies.
And we are back. This is the Made for Movies podcast. I am your co-host, Eric Russo. We have a lot lined up for you guys today. I think this is the most news we've ever had. We have over 10 stories we're going to cover today.
Man.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot for Wolf. He did not want to talk about a couple of these. I had to slip him, I think, what was it, $50 per story you did not want to talk about? So you made $500 this week. Pretty good.
Every single one.
Every single story got you going, and I look forward to your commentary on these wonderful stories. Of course, we have a new box office champ, one that I have a lot to say about for sure. And of course, as always, top 3 news stories of the week. We have a very familiar face.
Oh no, he's back.
Vin Diesel returns, this time not to the why is this happening. Unfortunately, he uses someone else to make it to the top once again, and we will talk about that as well. But let's start with a little movie birthday. Every single Monday, we are going to be reviewing movies from the past, classics, some good, some bad. But this week falls none other on July 25th, 2008, the movie Step Brothers. Wolf, break it down for me. Where does this movie rank in your world of comedy?
It's definitely a classic, clearly requotable and memorable, and people still yelling pow pow and all that stuff. But great performances by both Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. John C. Reilly, in my opinion, as amazing as his range is one of the best comedic actors alive, and it's amazing to me that that's the case, being that he has so much range and his serious roles are insane as well. And yeah, this one still holds up very, very well.
For sure. We've talked about this one a lot. Shout out to Adam McKay, one of the best directors going right now. He did both of our favorite movies of the last couple years, The Big Short, also did Talladega Nights, and he has a new movie coming out with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence among about 10 other Oscar winners. Don't
Huge
look up.
ensemble cast.
That's coming to Netflix at the end of the year. But yeah, we were talking about this. I'm always curious with these comedies. Is this the work of him as far as like one of the best comedy screenplays of all time? Or is he just lucky a little bit to have Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, and I know we both agree Adam Scott is the unanimous unsung hero of this film. Wolf, break it down. Give me one favorite moment with Adam Scott in this movie.
Definitely when they're in the treehouse looking at all the old penthouses, he pulls up his shirt, shows his oiled up abs, and he says, "I haven't had a carb in 7 years." Like, just a hilarious line. He gets punched in the face. He's the great villain of the movie, but it has a great resolution by the end. Killer performance. And I think with Adam McKay, he got his chops at SNL. Like, he was a writer on the staff for many years. One of my favorite things he ever did is actually when Tobey Maguire hosted. I think this was right after he got Spider-Man 1. He was on stage doing his monologue, and Adam McKay was like a guest in the audience, like interacting with him. And he was like, "Well, what other movies have you done?" And he's like, "Well, I did one called The Cider House Rules." And he goes, "Oh, I didn't catch that. But the Cider House rules, yeah." And he's like, "Well, that's not really how the movie goes." And he just kind of goes back and forth. Really, really funny exchange. I wonder if it's on YouTube. Should probably post that.
I feel like no one told Tobey Maguire what Saturday Night Live is. He thought he was going to like the Tonight Show with Jay Leno and had no idea the joke was on him. And I would pay so much money to watch him host Saturday Night Live now. Like, if he is coming back for Spider-Man, that would be a treat.
With his reputation, it would be killer. It would be amazing.
If they didn't touch on a skit with Molly's Game, I would be the most disappointed person. You can even put Pete Davidson in it, and I would still watch it. But who
would the musical guest be to like hold up to his reputation, like Marilyn Manson or something like that?
It would be,
who's gotten that many people angry?
It would be none other than Prestige worldwide.
Yes.
Wide.
Black leather gloves.
So we're going to move on. Wolf, we've said so many great things about this film. I would take a sequel, even though it would be terrible, ruin my childhood. I do not care. Give me these characters. I need them back in a movie, and I need it to be good. And when I say them, I mean John C. Reilly, Will Ferrell, and Adam McKay. I want the tripod back. Give it to me. Wolf, give me your score out of 10 for Step Brothers.
Step Brothers has got to be up in the 8.5 out of 10 range for me. Just classic, rewatchable, quotable.
I'm right there with you.
All you need from a comedy.
I'm going to go 9, so we're right between that. 8.75 out of 10 from the crew. Wow, great movie. If you have not seen it, what are you still doing here? Hang up this podcast. Go watch it now. But, Wolf, let's move on to something that is not as fun to talk about, and that's M. Night Shyamalan. No, so we are moving into the box office update today. So with this Thursday, I'm going to throw a weekly do not recommend. This is what you should not be watching review. I will not spoil what movie that is, but the listeners can probably guess based off the way the next 3 minutes of this podcast is going to go. But anyways, for this past weekend, we have we'll start at the bottom here. So in 5th place, we had F9, The Fast Saga, with 4.7 million, a 40% drop, holding on relatively well. I'm impressed so far.
That's pretty crazy, actually.
Yeah, it's getting a little better. It's not quite on the Quiet Place level on the 20%, but still, it's holding well. Space Jam: A New Legacy in 4th place. Wolf, last week this movie was in 1st place. This week it dropped over 70%.
My goodness.
As we tell you, if you aren't familiar with these numbers, 50 is good, 60 is bad, 70 is Hall of Shame. Top 10 worst drops in film history for a movie that opened with more than $30 million.
Wow.
Moving into number 3, Black Widow, 11.6 million, only down 55% this week. Last week it was 67, so very bad. I think this movie is getting smoked by piracy as well as being available for streaming, and I think that this will be the last time that ever happens for Marvel. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And also, if you have not seen Black Widow, go see it in theaters.
Definitely.
Top 2, Wolf. Are you ready? 2 new releases, 2 of your most anticipated movies of your life. In number 2, roll those dice. We have a Snake Eyes in 2nd place.
Oh,
this
boy.
$80 million budgeted movie pulls in $13.3 million. Just to keep in mind, the last 2 G.I. Joe both opened with 40 and 50 million. Whoever in their right mind thought that this movie was going to make any money should be fired. This is the movie that should have Paramount sold the Tomorrow War to Amazon. The Tomorrow War was supposed to open this past weekend. I don't know why they did not sell Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes would have been perfect for Amazon. The Tomorrow War would have been perfect for theaters, and I think it would have made a lot of money. Wolf, any thoughts on Snake Eyes before we move into the top spot?
It's competing with didn't Channing Tatum even do the G.I. Joe movies that have already come out? Like that's pretty star powery. Like,
and The Rock,
going with
the
a
Rock
bunch of
did
guys,
it,
and The Rock did one of them. Yeah, like this is just a series that's not really going to pick up steam. I think there's too much out there like it, like a Mission Impossible or a who we just talked about very recently.
Power Rangers.
Yeah, right. Honestly,
Wolf, if you ever don't know what to say, just yell Power Rangers. That's all. That's what I just do.
Teenagers.
That's Ivan Ooze. Shout out to Jacob Drosty. In his top 5 movies, he has Power Rangers. I couldn't agree more. That's a great movie.
The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from 1996 is in his top 5 favorite movies of all time.
No, superhero movies. And
superhero. Okay,
I actually agree. That's one of probably
good choice.
That's in my top 3 favorite movies from my childhood, with the original Space Jam and Child's Play. It's a weird childhood.
I was in love with the TV show Power Rangers. I couldn't believe how good it was.
Who was your favorite Ranger?
It had to have been Jason when he came back as the Black Ranger.
Oh yeah,
or was it the Gold Ranger? It was one of the, but he had like half black, so I don't even know.
You wanted to look like Jason with that beautiful hair, and now your hair looks like Jason. So
I literally have his haircut at this very moment. It's pretty good.
It's gorgeous.
It's pretty good.
All right, I think that is enough about Snake Eyes. Please do not make another G.I. Joe movie. Put this on Paramount Plus or PBS or what was that kids channel? PBS, yeah.
The
Perfect.
WB?
The WB, the CW. But Wolf, in the top spot, we have a very familiar name I'm very excited to talk about. Mr. M. Night Shyamalan reclaims box office throne. I have a lot to say about this movie. This Thursday, I'm going to do my official review. You did not see this movie. Maybe you go see it. Maybe you don't. We shall see. Otherwise, I will be doing this review alone, short and sweet. But I am one of the $16.5 million that went towards this movie. So this is the number one spot. Wolf, any thoughts on M. Night?
These numbers are abysmal. It's sad. I would think that M. Night would at least grab a few of the Sixth Sense addicts who have not had their fix for many years to swing by, but that's probably who did actually go and see that, because probably more people own the cassette VHS of the Sixth Sense than anything else. But there's a chance I go see Old. The girlfriend wants to go see it, so we shall see. And
you'll enjoy it.
I'm fairly intrigued. I think it'll be interesting. Big twist. I wonder what the twist's gonna be. Oh no!
Yeah, I can't say.
You said
anything.
you have a lot of thoughts, though.
I can't say
I'll
anything.
Stop talking. Oh, okay.
I don't want to spoil the movie for those of you who have not seen it, but my review will not be very nice. I would say, a M. Night Shyamalan fan. I love The Sixth Sense. I love Unbreakable. We'll stop there. But all I have to say is, before the movie came on, his face just comes on the screen. So like the trailers run through, the opening production thing happens. So he financed this movie himself, and actually 16.5, although not a huge number, the movie only cost $20 million to make. So it's going to be super profitable. Whereas a movie like Snake Eyes is not going to make any money. It's going to cost them millions. So good for him. He's got a little bit of a hit here, but in normal times, I would have expected 25 to 35 million. That's what Split and the sequel to that, Glass, were above 35 million. But we shall see. Anyway, he comes on the screen and he's like, "Hey, I'm M. Night Shyamalan. I have been making movies for 4 decades, and welcome back. This is how it was supposed to be. I'm happy you're here." It went on for like 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh my God.
I was like, get your face off of this frickin' screen now. But
I'm 100% going to see this and then leaving as soon as he's done on screen.
It was very thrilling, and he's in the movie too. Spoiler alert. But
great.
That wraps up the box office news. Now we move into our regular news. Again, doing away with the top 5 stories. We have a bunch of quick hits just to get all the news to you. Then we will get to the top 3 stories. But Wolf, let's start with the trailers. We had a ton of trailers, so this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to tell you the movie. I'll tell you a couple people that are in it or who's involved, and I want you to tell me what you think, and are you seeing it or are you skipping it, and I will do the same. Let's start with The Last Duel, directed by Mr. Ridley Scott, 83 years old, starring none other than Adam Driver, Ben Affleck, and Matt Damon, who co-wrote this, the first movie they have co-written, I believe, since one of our favorites, Good Will Hunting. Wolf, seeing it or skipping it?
You could not pay me money to keep me away from seeing this movie. I will be there at midnight opening day with this cast, with this storyline, and it's pretty much everything I could ask for in a movie, directors, and actors. So thank you all.
It looks topical to me. I will also be seeing it. As you know, Adam Driver, probably on my top 5 favorite active actors right now. Anything he does, I'm in. But let's move on. Malignant, we have talked about this. James Wan directed. The King of Horror returns. Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring, all of those under his belt. Wolf, seeing it or skipping it?
Skipping it.
Wow, there goes my $20 bet I had with someone on that one. Shocker. I will 100% be seeing this. This looks like it was manufactured in my dreams. I am very excited. moving on to the next trailer. The boys are back in town. Jackass Forever. I just saw this trailer with Old. Funny enough, I don't know why they're advertising it with the M. Night Shyamalan movie. I guess because Johnny Knoxville has been doing this as long as M. Night has been making movies
for decades.
Amazing. Wolf, seeing it or skipping it?
Seeing it 100%. One of my favorite parts of my childhood, watching these idiots blow themselves to pieces, and I can't wait to see what happens with the most hated of the Jackass crew, Aaron McGahee. They despise this kid so much. They put pubes on his face. They pulled out his teeth with a Ferrari, and now they're pouring honey on him and sicking a bear in the same room. He's dead. Like, there's no way he's not Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant after this.
I
can't wait.
I was dying during the trailer. I'm right there with you. I think the fake taxi bomb driver from Jackass 2 might be the hardest I've ever laughed in a movie.
Oh my God. So good.
Just flawless execution. So I'm sure he'll be used in the finale of the movie. I did not like Jackass 3, but Jackass 2 is one of my favorite comedies. So they've had 10 or 15 years. I'm seeing it. Let's go. Bring the boys back. I'm all for it. I don't know why they didn't call it like Fast 9, like Jackass the number 4 ever. I thought that could have been done, or some stupid spelling like Dumb and Dumber 2. But let's move into the final trailer of the week. Dune drops its final trailer before its October release. Wolf, seeing it or skipping it?
I'm seeing it, and I'm very, very nervous about it because I feel like it might not be good, and I can't understand how it won't be good with the cast that it does have and the story. But I've seen crazier things happen, but we'll see.
That's a bold prediction. It is a big story to try to tell, that's for sure. And I'm sure the people that are fans of the novel are going to hold it to a very high standard. Having said that, as good as the cast is, and as funny as the character posters were with all those interesting names that the characters have, if you have not seen them, go look up the character names. It's incredible. So much thought clearly went into this. But Dennis Villeneuve, to me, is right there neck and neck with Christopher Nolan. He's better than Christopher Nolan at a lot of things. Of course, I would still choose Christopher Nolan, personal preference. But this guy has not missed, and I don't know if he's ever missed. He's done Cesaro. He's done, I probably said that wrong, whatever that crime movie he did. Sicario, yeah. Mm-hmm. He did Arrival. He did Prisoners, one of my favorite movies of all time, as well as Blade Runner 2049. So I think that's a great movie. I think most people, including myself, thought that movie would be a terrible movie, considering no one should ever make a sequel to Blade Runner. I thought he pulled it off. I love that movie. I thought it was a masterpiece. So bring it on. I think this guy has the juice, and I think he'll be making Academy Award-worthy movies for a very long time. And maybe Dune will be one of the big budget movies that actually gets some love this year at the Oscars. But
for sure,
that was a longer quick hit. But once again, I mean, we usually have one trailer.
So many trailers.
Yeah, what are we going to do? Let's move into the number 2 quick hit of the week, Clerks 3, to begin filming next month. I feel like this movie has had about 15 delays. Wolf, are you ready for the return?
Absolutely. Clerks 1 is in my top 10 favorite comedies of all time. Clerks 2 is in my honorable mentions, so it's not far behind. And I can't wait to see where these guys are at in their life, what's changed, what characters are coming back. And, can't wait.
Yeah, so I believe this will tell the story. Is it Kevin Smith? Yeah, Kevin Smith had a heart attack in real life. So one of the characters will be kind of playing him in this movie. In a way, it'll be telling the story of someone with a near-death experience. And I am sure it will be super offensive to those of you out there that are offended easily. So I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Number 3, quick hit. Snyder is back to direct Army of the Dead 2, as well as signed a 2-year exclusive first look with Netflix. As we predicted, Wolf, are you ready to dive back into Las Vegas?
Blow my brains out. Couldn't think of anything worse. Let's move on.
Let's move on. I'm right there with you. I am excited to see his Star Wars knockoff movie. I will not be watching Army of the Dead 2 unless someone tells me that it's just hilarious, and then I'll go. Number 4, quick hit of the week. HBO Max is going to produce 10 original movies in 2022. Wolf, I put this on here for you because you just watched No Sudden Move and you loved it. That was one of their original movies this year. How do you feel about getting some original content, and where do you want to see them focus? Do you want them to focus on DC or elsewhere?
That's a great question. I'll start with the first part. I am fairly excited. HBO has a proven track record with television. I can see with some of the films they have produced already that they have good eyes for those films as well. And I'm excited for the original movies. As far as the focus, it would be nice to see some DC stuff come out that was good, but they haven't really had a chance to make it right at this point. So I'm not expecting any of that. Hopefully just stuff that focuses on topics that are relevant, and I'm sure a few documentaries will be posted through there as well, which I'm always excited for.
So I'm going to make a bold prediction. Of these 10 movies, one of them, I don't know if they're all coming out next year or just being made next year. Mortal Kombat, as I have told you, Wolf, did not make money. It will be going to HBO Max, though. This will be announced, so we'll get Mortal Kombat 2 or a origin story like Snake Eyes, but for Mortal Kombat, can't wait for that.
Hopefully Kano.
Yeah, hopefully. And I also think we get a MonsterVerse movie, but a spin-off, not a Godzilla vs. Kong, but another movie focused on these monsters because that's where the money is for them, so why not hit there? Are you ready for the last quick hit of the day? I know me and you got into a scuffle. I was so excited for this movie, and you just stepped on my balloon and popped it. Jordan Peele's new movie gets a new poster, a cast confirmation that we have talked about, as well as a new title. It's going to be called Nope. It's going to star Daniel Kaluuya, Steven Yeun, and one other person. I forget her name. I apologize. But, Wolf, tell me how you feel about this announcement.
Well, I think first and foremost, the title, Nope. Nope is my favorite word. So I say it the most of every day. And so great title. I like it. I was confused and probably a little bit tipsy looking at the movie poster. I literally thought it was like an alien with a tentacle flying out of a cloud. I had no clue. Didn't see that it was just a little bit of a kite. So I made fun of it because it looked kind of strange. I will probably skip this one until someone tells me it's as good as Get Out.
Sure.
But I didn't hear that about Us, so I'm a little bit hesitant to say I'll be excited about this movie at this time. But Jordan Peele doesn't make bad stuff. We'll see.
To bring this full circle, when you commented that to me, I was like the Adam Scott's son in Step Brothers when he just looks at John C. Reilly and he says, "What's this guy's deal?" That's how I felt. I was hurt. I was frustrated. Jordan Peele, man, he's one of the most talented people in Hollywood. Get Out's one of my top 20 movies ever made. Us is super enjoyable, but just didn't quite land for me. But I could just sense that regardless if it worked for me or not, it worked for him and it worked for a lot of people, and it was perfectly made, like as far as just the quality of the film. And I am a huge Daniel Kaluuya fan as well as Steven Yeun. So to me, there's no way this movie is bad. I hope, like we talked about before, I hope Daniel Kaluuya is the bad guy in this. I think he would be a fantastic villain, especially after getting to be, the happy ending in Get Out. But we shall see as usual. I have my eyes all over this one, and I'm definitely making you see it. So get strapped in. That wraps it up for the quick hits. Let's move into our top 3 stories of the week. Coming in at number 3, Dexter Season 9 just not only dropped its first trailer, we have now a release date as well as a title. Wow, big news from Dexter. This is coming, I believe, November 9th. It's coming out, 10-episode series. It is called Dexter New Blood. Wolf, what did you think of the trailer? And just what are your overall thoughts on this?
So I've made a personal decision with this particular show not to watch any more trailers. I want to go in as blind as possible because just seeing him as a lumberjack at the end of season 8 was so heartbreaking. Even though it was nice to see that he was alive, didn't know this would be coming down the pipeline, but kind of thankful that it is. Kind of a cool name, and I'm very, very happy it's 10 episodes. Like, that's a lot of content.
Yeah.
That's a full story. We're getting all the nuts and bolts, some filler. kind of like more of a traditional television series at this point, going back to the 13 episode series of The Sopranos. Like every season had at least 13, so this one has a lot of beef to it. Could be very exciting.
I think they're going to knock this out of the park. Even the bad episodes of Dexter were always watchable, although disappointing. So long story short, Dexter has got a new alias. He is now Jim Lindsay. Shout out to my sister Lindsay and the other Lindsay. And from here, he is also looking to be dating a chief of police, which is fun. I always enjoy watching Dexter get some love, and she is played by Julia Jones from The Mandalorian. So pretty cool there. John Lithgow returns. Jennifer Carpenter returns in some form. I can't be more excited for them to wrap this up in a fitting 10-hour conclusion. And we can't get greedy. We have to understand this is probably not getting into season 2, and I really don't want one. I just want it to go out with a bang, and I think you are right there with me, right?
Absolutely.
Let's move into the top 2. It's going to get a little heated in here, I feel. But number 2, Michael B. Jordan has just signed on to produce and most likely star in a Superman series for HBO Max. Wolf, I'm not even going to ask you any questions. What do you think about it?
It's like most predictable thing ever happens based on previous news stories. That's basically what I'm thinking here.
Let me fill you in
honestly,
before you talk. Let me just give you a little other hint I've read in another article. The other Black Superman movie that is coming out is still coming out and has nothing to do with Michael B. Jordan. That will tell the story of a Black Clark Kent. This will tell a completely original story. So how do you feel about these two projects at the same time? That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I've said it before. Superman is my favorite superhero, always has been. So anything that hopefully can redeem some of the more poor stuff we've seen about Superman Returns, etc., that would definitely be great. I think with the buzz of the Black directed and Black Clark Kent story coming out, a lot of people were predicting Michael B. Jordan was going to be that person.
Yeah,
but maybe he didn't want to be the guy that everyone thought that would do it. So he decided to possibly go out and make his own thing, which kudos to him. I respect the hustle. It's great. Like if you have the ability to go out and produce it, go for it. Yeah. Like the more, the better in my opinion. So could be good. And obviously he's a great actor. One of the hottest in Hollywood right now. So definitely going to be good.
Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to the Black Clark Kent movie, just because any story with Clark Kent to me, I have no interest in. But I think the fact that he's doing something that's unrelated to anything I'm too familiar with, as far as the comics, I have to say I really don't know the other versions of Superman and which characters played Superman. So it's going to be all new territory for me. So it's like a blank canvas for him to kind of create this character, and I think that's good, because when you have to play Clark Kent, there's just certain things you have to be and have to do, as far as like the nerdy guy that works at the news, and news reporter, and Lois Lane, and all these character beats that you have to touch on. So I think if you're going to tell a Superman story, let's get something we've never seen before. So really looking forward to this. But it's time. Ladies and gentlemen, top news story of the week. We've talked about this, and we've question what was going to happen, and we finally have our unfortunate answer. Rock versus Vin Diesel. The Rock has finally responded to Vin Diesel's claims that Vin Diesel showed The Rock tough love to get him to act well during those movies. The Rock laughed it off and said it was one of the funniest things he ever read when he heard about it, and officially confirms he will no longer be participating in any Fast and the Furious movies, so we will not get the character of Hobbs wrapped up. I believe he is still going to be starring in Hobbs and Shaw 2. Wolf, whose side are you on?
It's a tough one, because my biggest fear come to life about the remaining Fast and the Furious movies. We are not getting the reunion we had hoped for to hopefully put a nice bow on Fast 11, or F11, as I'm calling it right now.
What's the matter? You don't like falafel?
But I'm on the Rock side. I couldn't think of a better response to what Vin Diesel's bullshit tough love statement was, and it made me so mad. Like I was like, I hope the Rock just laughs and says, there's no way that little pipsqueak did anything to rattle my cage. Oh, and by the way, F you all forever. I'm never doing another like Fast and the Furious movie. Done. Hopes dashed. it's over. I may not see Fast 10. I
Wow.
don't know how I can bring myself to go.
Yeah, it's a huge blow to that franchise just from an excitement standpoint, because I personally, as we talked about, I was excited to see The Rock return. That was one of the very few things
Yes.
that had me excited to see these sequels. Of course, we still have the Han versus Jason Statham, but I can read about that as well. Funny thing with this story, I didn't actually see the interview. I read about it, but Emily Blunt was also quoted in the article that I read. And she said to The Rock, while he was being asked this question, she said, "Thank God Vin Diesel was there for you. Without him, you could not have done that." And it was a very funny moment, and I just thought, all I could think was...
I love her.
Yeah, all I
so
could think
much.
was, well, clearly she is not planning on being in that Cardi B girl spinoff movie, because Vin Diesel has her on the hit list for sure. Quiet Place 3, he's just going to pop out with a shotgun.
Incredible.
I can't
This is
wait.
for family.
Yeah, I hope he's the if A Quiet Place 3 kind of goes into those people that are living out in the world that are like cannibals, I think it would be amazing if Vin Diesel is the leader of that tribe. And in
Oh,
fact,
that'd be so good.
or just playing his character Riddick from Pitch Black. If there was ever a crossover opportunity, like, let's get him in there. I'm all.
That's
for
one of the
that.
most underrated movies of all time, by the way, Pitch Black.
The first one
Very
is
scary.
really good. Yeah.
Very
Chronicles
good.
of Riddick, maybe we're okay, so it's a good time to talk about it. This is pretty much wrapping up the episode. This Thursday, we're going to have a lot of fun, and I think we'll get a lot of feedback and participation on which movies you think should have made this list. But we are going to dive in to the top 10 most disappointing movies of all time. So let me clarify. Not the worst movies of all time. So you will not be seeing movies that, like Catwoman with Halle Berry, one of the worst movies ever made. That will not make our list. The movies that we are talking about are the movies that we personally thought should have been amazing, should have been great, and were huge missed opportunities. We're probably going to disagree on some of them, which will be a fun conversation, and I'm sure we're going to make a lot of people out there upset. Get ready. Have your popcorn ready. But I have to say, Chronicles of Riddick is definitely on the short list of movies
It
that I was
might
very
be
excited
up
for.
there.
One of my favorite Chronicles of Riddick stories is the show Parks and Rec. Aziz talks about how he flipped his Chronicles of Riddick Blu-ray for profit on eBay. He's like, bought it for $5, sold it for $15. So that's probably the only good positive story to say about Chronicles of Riddick, and I'm trying to be more positive. But
That's hilarious.
Wolf, do you got anything else before we ride into Thursday?
No more Vin Diesel. Thank you guys very much for listening. Love y'all.
So this Thursday, once again, most disappointing movies of all time. My review of the movie Old, unless Wolf happens to see it as well. And Wolf will have something as far as a recommendation for you guys. So it's going to be fun. Please join us. As always, send us all your comments on any of the stories that we talked about. If you guys just want to have us talk about a specific topic, send it to us, and we will shout you out on next week's episode. As always, bye.
See ya.